What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. You already know what time it is. One Piece chapter 1069 had dropped Thursday on TCB scans. However, I didn't put out a video because I saw on Twitter that some people were saying that there's a translation issue or it'll be a correction. So I just wanted to wait and see, to be honest with you, when it dropped on Sunday officially. But we here. Last chapter, Rob, Lucci, Luffy finally come across each other in that path. And this chapter, we gonna deal with that. Even the title kind of changed. All things are brought into this world with hope. I love this chapter. This is a good chapter. We start off the chapter with where we left off when in one chapter 1068, where now Kaku is warning Lucy, like, yo, bro, we can't fight Luffy. We can't fight an emperor. Like, we gotta get approval on this. And that's what I kind of love to see. We're finally able to see Luffy truly get that Yonko status, right? Like, we know he has it now, but now it's kind of like, yeah, like, that's right. Call up Akainu and let him know Luffy's over here, right? Because there's still a hierarchy right there out in the seas, right? When it comes to the Yonko, so they still have to respect that, because he does still have his grand fleet that has like over 5,000 people. So they do have to respect Luffy as his level of status as a Yonko, and I love that as a One Piece fan, right? Now, let's get to the Navy part. Kizaru is on his way. Now, in the TCB scans, it said he was already on his way, but the English translation says he was already on his way to Egghead for a prior operation. We did not get that. And now it had me wondering, like, okay, so what is he going to Egghead for? Is he going to Egghead to truly save Vegapunk? Is he going to Egghead to possibly kill Vegapunk? You know, he was the backup plan, or maybe he was already supposed to be there and CP0 beat him there first. You know, what is his purpose there? Is his purpose to get Nico Robin? Because she's still into play. CP0 still wants to get Robin. So that's something that we still have to look out for going forward, probably in chapters, probably 1074 possibly. But it's getting real spicy right now on Egghead, right? We got CP0, we got the Straw Hats, we have Kizaru on his way, we have Vegapunk wanting to leave. Like, a lot is going on, and Otis is setting us up for something big, real big, and I'm so excited for it. Now, let's be real. Rob Lucci's cat fruit, his model leopard awakening form, is clean. Like, bro, it is so clean. It's not even funny. I can't even wait to see what it looks like animated. Like, I feel like the clouds, they're black, and I'll get to the clouds in a second. The clouds, they look black, but I have a feeling they might look purple, and I really hope they kind of look purple, because I think that would look cool with the leopard. And it's great to see. We all knew, right? We all knew he's gotten stronger. We knew he's gotten stronger, but how strong, we did not know. And it's so interesting to see this form. But he's no match for Luffy. Now, Luffy, on the other hand, Oda pretty much off rip confirms it. He has the ability to go into gear 5th with ease. It's not something that he has to build up to, kind of like in old Dragon Ball Z days when Goku and Vegeta would warm up in their actual fights before they actually turned Super Saiyan, which annoyed me a lot of the time. Luffy's not wasting any time. He doesn't have to do that. And I love that Oda just quickly addresses, nope, he can go right into it. Vegapunk walks through the door. And this is one of the juiciest parts of the chapter. Luffy does not know what his awakening is about, what it represents, you know, Sun God Nika, and neither do the Straw Hats. And he goes on to explain to them that even in the oldest books of the Devil Fruit Encyclopedia, which I thought was crazy that Oda just dropped that. There's a Devil Fruit Encyclopedia that we just didn't know about. 1,069 chapters into this, and he says there's no such thing as the gum fruit, and he goes on to say that no, that is not the case. He said he looks just like a god who appears in the oldest of texts, assuming the horror books. Indeed, the foolish and laughable warrior of liberation who brings smiles to all people, also known as the sun god Nika. Now he's given them details on his transformation and his awakening ability that even they didn't know about. Now, Luffy's possibly going to know about this. Now, we know Luffy. He won't really care. He really won't. But to see his Gear 5th ability and now to see the Straw Hats react off of it as if like, yo, we didn't know that this was something else. And his abilities and what he's able to do, it's amazing. He's still Luffy, right? He's still goofy, eyes poking out, you know, he's moving his head around, you know, he's still laughing with a smile on his face. He's Luffy. But then he drops the biggest Devil Fruit lore information he could ever give us. Oda's in his Duffy. He's not even in his bag anymore. I gotta find a new phrase. Because he's not even in his Duffy anymore. He goes on to say, every Devil Fruit is a possibility for human evolution that someone desired. If only it could be like this. If only it could be like that. All of those powers represent the many branches of the future of humanity. That right there, that tidbit that he just gave us, he basically says, if you can imagine, if you can manifest what you want, it will come to light, it will happen. And he kind of, some people are saying he's breaking the third wall here, basically saying, you know, some of the things that we think about in this world, some powers, some abilities that we wish we have, he's put it into the story, and it created these Devil Fruits. Now, I will do a fuller breakdown on Devil Fruits because we already know Devil Fruits have their own will and they attract themselves to those that fit and suit that will in itself. And you kind of see it right here with Luffy and Rob Lucci, do you not? Two different, they're polar opposites. But look at when we found these two guys, right? Like his cat fruit will is that of an assassin, of a cold-blooded killer with a leopard. Right, and Luffy, we thought his gum ability fit him, but it really turns out Sun God Nika fits Luffy's will, freedom. Like they just fit, they come together, and those are the wills of the fruit. Now, to see the parallels as he's describing it, loved it. Love the callback when they clash with the punches. This also confirms that Rob Lucci has haki, which we did not know before, but it's now interesting to see with the Black Island. Those powers exist in different dimensions dreamed up by someone else before them. And then he goes on to say this is a theory. Now, no doubt next chapter, even though we're on a break, no doubt next chapter he's going to go even into further explanation and to say that these powers are just so unnatural. That's why people with devil fruit powers can't swim. It's because Mother Nature in herself doesn't like this process and doesn't like these abilities, so now they can't swim, which, you know, I get it, but it also makes it very interesting to me. Where does it leave haki into all of this? Because Kaido on the rooftop talked about how haki is the key to conquer all. It's not devil fruits. Now, in order to awaken your devil fruit, you have to have your mind and body connected together. And it happened for Luffy. So the question for me, especially for Rob Lucci, is when did that click for him, right? Because we haven't seen him since Enies Lobby. Or Luffy hasn't seen him since Enies Lobby. We've seen him. However, we don't know what happened for him. And it's going to be very interesting to figure that out and find that out. It's going to be very interesting, to be honest with you. And, man, Sentomaru pulls up on the scene. Because I was saying last video, chapter 1068, I was saying, yo, where's Sentomaru in all this? Where's he been? Like, there's just no way the Straw Hats are on this island and he doesn't show up in some way. And he does show up in some way. And Vegapunk persuades him into believing that, yo, you need to help the Straw Hats because you know what? I took you in, I helped you. He basically kind of like guilted him into helping. But to see Jinbei Seraphim, to see Hancock Seraphim, and see Mihawk Seraphim, I can't wait to see Mihawk Seraphim go against Zoro. I can't wait, bro. I want to see that, even if it's for a couple panels. I just want to see it, right? Because if he's as strong as Mihawk, maybe, I don't want to say stronger, but if he's as strong as Mihawk, that's going to be very interesting. The Boa Hancock Seraphim is going to be very interesting to see how she reacts with Luffy, because it looks like some of them possibly have the personality and traits of said, you know, warlord, and it makes me very interesting if she fell in love with Luffy as an adult, would she still have those feelings of Luffy now? And that's going to be very interesting. Even Jinbei Seraphim, I can't wait to see how all of this is about to play out. When Vegapunk or when Sentomaru shows up on the scene, especially on the battleground with the Seraphims, we get the Pacifista authority hierarchy, and it's very interesting because I've been questioning Oda, like, in Vegapunk, like, he has to have a cell safe for these Seraphims, right? He has, or these Pacifistas, he has to have these fail safes, because there's no way you can just allow them to just possess this technology with the world government and Vegapunk not have his fail safe for himself. No, I truly believe he had something in this hierarchy where it's the 5 elders, it's Vegapunk, it's Sentomaru, and then it's anybody with an authority chip. And that makes it easy enough to understand and know, like, yep, it won't work. It won't work. Especially when now Sentomaru's here. And now that Sentomaru's here, now he's able to not only order the Pacifista, but also the Seraphims. And CP0 having to deal with that is a problem. It is definitely a problem. And the other problem is that you guys haven't liked and subscribed to the channel. You've been here for so long, so go ahead and like and subscribe. Now back to the fight. Luffy versus Lucci. We get clips of it. His Gum Mole Pistol I find hilarious. And it really just goes to show to you that even in Gear 5th, Luffy is going to be a problem for Rob Lucci. I don't think he's going to struggle with him. I don't. Luffy may do a new ability with Gear 5th. Who knows? We may also find out how long it can last, because the first time he did it with Kaido, he was kind of on and off with it just a little bit to the end, right? And it was a little worrisome, especially when you see him get older. But we got to see how long it's going to last. And then now Sentomaru finally meets up with Luffy to tell him, like, yo, I'm here to help you. Go down this alleyway, make a right and a left. Go down that. Yeah, and if you pass the vending machine, you've gone too far. So he's here to redirect the Straw Hats somewhere safely so they can get off this island, because it does look like they're going to have to just abandon Egghead. I don't know if the other Vegapunks are going to be able to stay on Egghead, but the real Vegapunk, he's out. And with Dr. Atlas gone, I'm very curious to see, going to see how the rest of the Vegapunks react. But Lucci has a different plan, and he just shows up and one-shot Sentomaru. I don't know how strong Sentomaru is. I don't know. But Lucci one-shotting him would be so disappointing. It would be so disappointing. It would be so disappointing. And I think he'll get up. He's not down, but that was a big blow he just took. And for Lucci to take an opportunity to take Sentomaru, who's number 3, off of the Seraphim Pacifista hierarchy when it comes to their following their authority, he just took out number 3. That would bump them up to number 3 on that list, because Sentomaru is not able to give orders. And Vegapunk's not around at the moment. Neither of the Vegapunks are around at the moment. So they're the ones that could use that Pacifista and use those Seraphims to attack Straw Hat, to attack Jinbei and Chopper, to attack Bonnie, who needs to wake the hell up at this point. Like, girl, you passed out over some bugs. Like, wake up at this point. So this was a really good chapter. I really loved how Oda put this all together. Seeing it officially. Some people were complaining about the panels. It was confusing at first, but when I kind of stood back and read it, it was like, nope, it's not that confusing. The devil fruit lore is great. It's amazing. I want to know how they were actually created. He kind of tells us how they're manifested, how they're created, but Oda truly doesn't really reveal how. Because at the end of the day, Vegapunk does say this is only his theory. And with all of the knowledge that he has, to only have this be a theory, it's very interesting. And I feel like this is a lot of what he's saying is true. I just want to see how they're actually made. Some people are speculating that Haki's involved, and I truly believe Haki could be involved, because he who has Haki, according to Kaido, can conquer all. If you have the strongest Haki, you can conquer, you can rule. And Roger ruled the seas with Big Mom, Kaido, Whitebeard, all of them, Akinu, Vegapunk, all of them. He's conquered the whole entire sea through all of that with no devil fruit abilities. So I do believe Haki is probably a big key in One Piece. And I'm very excited to see. But definitely let me know in the comments what you guys thought about this chapter. I thought this was a really solid chapter. I'm not upset about it. When it comes to the cloud thing, there's a video about it. I'll definitely talk about it in my Haki and devil fruit video that I got coming out next week, since we are on break. Sucks, but you know, they deserve a holiday over in Japan too, so it can't be mad. But definitely let me know in the comments what you guys think about this chapter. Make sure you like and subscribe to this channel. To all my fans, love you. To all my new viewers, love you too. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.